Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue our exploration in this ancient language, my native tongue. And in this privileged position that I explain Chinese to English speakers happen to be the two major languages in the world. Okay, today we talk about 设计. And your first impression just by the look of the two characters must include both of them share the same side and only the right side changes. That's the beauty of Chinese language. Like it's a building block. It's almost like Legos. And there are some basic elements, and then you can just combine them into something else, into more complicated meanings, more specified, give it more context. But if you want to really look deep about what this character is about, you can trace back to the origin, and you can see both of them have this icon in it. And in ancient Chinese too, they are written the same. That means speaking. Speaking is a major function, not function, but speaking, I guess. Okay, in Chinese language, it shows a lot. It often combined with some other icons, just like this, made a ton of characters from it. And speaking, my understanding is that it serves as a function, like a social function. Whoever in the position to speak actually are in the power position to speak to people, to influence people, to tell them what to do. And so the speaking symbol came with a lot of like a human intention or human control, like all that political, power comes with it. So, okay, speaking, let's look at the icon itself. It has the mouse symbol at the bottom, which is a box with, okay, I guess a better view of it is made of the upper lip, which is horizontal line, and then the lower lip is curvier, right? So it's a convex shape meeting this upper lip. So bottom lip, upper lip, and with a little bit up tilted corner, kind of like smiley face. That's Chinese mouth symbol. Okay, then we have these two convex shapes going next to each other, connected by vertical line. And this vertical line, you have to pay attention, that doesn't puncture the second convex shape. Because, okay, the top convex shape with this vertical line is a symbol for entering. So this convex shape, you can view it as the original space. And then with this needle looking very thin vertical line is used to puncture through some interface into a new space. Okay, the second convex shape is a signifier that we can view it as a contemporary language and symbol reader, almost corresponding to this arrow symbol. So that's like an arrow pointing toward this needle portion of this entering symbol. So if the convex shape of the original, this convex shape with a needle symbol together, it means entering. Then this convex shape signifies the original space. And then this needle, because it's thinner, is puncturing through some border by entering into a new space. Then this is the new space. This is the old space. If we want to separate, looking like that. Then this signifier or this pointer is pointing toward the new space. So that means we are talking about entering something, and it's the new space that's where we mean. So now the whole thing, that this entering symbol is pointing toward the mouth. That means we're talking about entering the mouth, but then it signifies inside the mouth, the new space in the mouth. And what's in the mouth? The tongue, because we have a whole set of characters that describe or visually capture the teeth. But the tongue, because it changes shape, it's really hard to depict it visually, and also it's inside. So how to describe the tongue? Language creator came up with this indirect way to describe, okay, what's inside the mouth is the tongue. Okay, then the two horizontal lines sitting on top of the tongue is, we can view it as sound bites. And the two stack up together. You can see the bottom one is longer than the top one. I mean, not only it's visually more stable because the bottom holds more weight of the top one, right? So it's visually more stable instead of like inverted. This is like more a pyramid. It's stable versus inverse pyramid shape. So the bottom also is visually closer to the viewer of this language, because Chinese language is projected onto this 2D frame, but we are missing the third dimension, which is where we are living in. We're living in the 3D world, right? So the third dimension means the depth. Like the depth is hard to express on the 2D form. So how Chinese make sense of it is using the position of where the symbols is shown. So if it's upper frame, that means it's further away from the viewer. If at the bottom of the frame, that means closer to the viewer. And you can see this here on this symbol. It is a 3-finger human hand symbol, and it's from the bottom right corner. That almost like gives you, the language viewer or user, the sense of it's your hand sticking in from the bottom right of the screen, and it's connecting to you, and this hand almost like your hand sticking into the frame. So that is how Chinese express the depth of the dimension. So when we have this two stack up horizontal lines, that means the first horizontal line is closer to the viewer. The second one is further away, travel in space. So it almost like, imagine a raindrop in a surface of water, right? So at the center of the raindrop, it's the energy, the impact of the raindrop in the water is going to be bigger, right? So it's a bigger ripple. And then going further away, like the depths of it, it's going further away, it's going to diminish in its energy form. So that's what these two sound bites traveling through time and space express. At the beginning, closer to the viewer, it's a longer horizontal line, and traveling, it's diminishing. So the whole thing, the tongue, which has the mouth symbol already embedded in it, is the organ to speak. And then the two sound bites are the results or the message, travel through the air, airborne message from speaking. So together, both of them build up into this meaning of speaking. So now, speaking paired with two different things on the right side. So this one is about slavery. So it's a visual display of somebody, 3-finger hand symbol, holding a whip. According to scholar, this is whip, some sharp edge connected to the very tip of the whip. So that shows the ancient practice of slave supervisors are whipping slaves into manual labor of doing something. So this slavery eventually kind of died out through history, right? But the meaning created with this slavery icon in it stayed with us. And eventually this speaking plus slavery almost mean that you have this intention, you want somebody to do something, right? Through slavery, it's like you willed, you force your own will of, say you want somebody to go farming or something like that, right? You want somebody to do something for you to make change in nature, right? Slavery is a form of social organization that the slave owner willed their own personal, goal onto slaves who carry out the will, right? And speaking is also, so besides, wiping somebody. Speaking is another way of wiping somebody's mind, I guess. Whipping somebody's mind. I mean, language is powerful, right? Language is power. So with words or with force, make somebody do something at your will. So this willfully make something happen, either through slavery or not. This will was then lived, continued, stayed with us till today. So then eventually it means display. It means you have your intention embedded in there, that you want to show something, present something, or make something to your will. Okay, slavery apart. This willfully change of something is, is the current meaning of us, of the word 设. So that eventually means display in a certain way. It's a willfully, intentionally display of something. Okay. 记,设记 的记, besides the speaking sign, it also have this number 10 in there. Westerners, they will look at, oh, this is Christianity crucifixion symbol, but no, Chinese have no crucifixion legend with the language at all. It came from this roping technology. So at the beginning of time of human society that tried to bookkeeping, Mr. A owned Mr. B something, right? So how can people remember? Because over time things are getting blurry, right? Nobody remembers the thing. So before the invention of pen and pencil and paper, right? The P stuff, roping was the technology to kind of permanently knot into something. And I mean, if it's a single digit, it doesn't work you can simply remember it. But beyond single digit means 10. When it comes to 10, now it worth knotting it into this permanent record keeping. So 10 becomes the beginning knotting unit. If you make a knot on the rope, that means it's at least 10. And when it comes to 20, just another knot. So that's how bookkeeping was carried back then. So bookkeeping, this number 10, paired with speaking, eventually become the meaning of calculation, because, speaking again is influencing somebody, right? You can influence yourself as well. You can, speak back to yourself as well. And then 10 is the signifier of this record keeping or measuring of things or quantifying of things. So if speaking is the sensed general direction, is a qualitative, then number 10 signifies quantitative. So you have a qualitative, quantitative combined together. That's somebody's calculating something. So when you have display and calculate, you can almost view it as it's a calculated display. Chinese, it must be somebody translate this concept of design, because Chinese throughout history, we have design, like somebody design something, make either as architecture or furniture, living space, anything that human transform a natural form into something, it's by design, right? There are some intention, some consideration of the use of that thing. So when design as a Western term comes into the consciousness of Chinese, somebody translated as 设计. So we can almost say it's a calculated display of something. So if it's a display, that means it exists in a 3D world in a certain shape and form. And this 计, that means calculated. Everything is by calculation, by quantification and qualification. That, both of the characters have this intention embedded in it. As a human consciously, intentionally make something into a certain form. And that's the Chinese translation of design. I just put these two chairs. I mean, obviously, we don't normally come across chairs like that. That's by design. That's, elongated backbone, and also this indentation of the butt where you sit over there. Both of them are by design. It doesn't come nothing natural about it. It's totally artificial. So that's by design. Okay, 开始 introducing number one a day with Sophie. 先来的